Kuya Eugene at ang pangalan ng kabayo na ginagamit natin, si Franco.
Pwede English?
Okay. Pag English may dagdag pa. Hindi, joke lang. Okay. So, my name is Kuya Eugene and the horse name that we use is Franco. Okay, so actually, this is an old way of transportation that we call as kalesa. So, the introductions of the wheels, it came from Spain. Okay?
Yeah.
Before the Spanish came here in this island, they used to be an island on that part. Actually, that island they used to call Alog. Alog, in English of Alog is Delta. So if they said Delta, it's an island that where the mixtures of the water happen. Okay, so that island, in the part of south, this is a bay. This is the bay called Tubig Alam. That's salty water. While in the part of north, it's a river that we call Ilog. So the Alat and Ilog, the water is mixed in the island, so that's why the island called Alog. So if you were living to the place of Alog, you're from Alog, right? So from it means Taga, and the name of the place is Alog. Taga, Alog. And because of the mixtures of the water, they formed Tagalog. So during that time, what is Tagalog? So Tagalog is a people before the Spanish came here in the Philippines. So the people the Tagalog led by the Muslim leader named Raha Sulaiman. So when the area of Raha Sulaiman was attacked in 1571 by the Spaniards, which is under by the nephews of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. Their name is Martin de Goiti and Juan de Salcedo. So they attacked the islands of Tagalog or the islands of Raha Sulaiman, and they used the banner of St. James, Santiago, Matamoros. So sa Mata, it means killed. Moros, it means the Muslim. So they killed some Muslim here in this part, and some other Muslim they moved in the other shore. And that shore, it will be a new town or new city. New, it means bago. City, it means bayan. So bagong bayan. So the bagong bayan, because it's shaped like a lunar in the map, they can called also by the Spaniards as Luneta. Because the key word is lunet. Lunet is a Latin word, it means lunar. So it's shaped like a lunar in the map, so that's why they called Luneta. Okay, so what happened here? Actually, here in this part, there's a lot of types of mangrove trees that they call the nilad tree. So, those nilad trees, there's a 4 meters height, and then there's a white flower that they cleanse also the water in the area. So they call them also by the Spaniards that why the water is clear here in this area, because they cleanse also by that flower that they call nilad, because there is nilad. There is, it means by. Nilad is the name of the tree or the flower. May nilad. So while they do the reclamation, so what I mean, this area was only developed 1571. Claimed in 1571, and it was palisaded with earths, logs, and bamboo sticks only. So that's why this area was easily defined by the other invaders. Okay. So the first invade here in Manila in 1574 by the attack of the Chinese pirates called Limahong. So they destroyed everything inside, but not the door of the oldest stone church, the San Agustin. Because later on you'll see why this door was left by the Chinese pirates. Alright, so that's why they get an idea that they need to build a walls. Okay, the walls was built from 1590 up to 1840. That's 250 years long. And the workers back then are the Chinese and Filipino. If they can't afford, they're unable to pay their tax, they will force them to be a labor for 40 days without salary, and that is called polo y servicio. Is in your exam, polo y servicio. Okay. Yeah, so the walls, the materials from the walls are the volcanic top that they formed also of bricks, and to bind them, they used a powder lime and egg white. No steels and cements. Powder lime and egg white only. Okay. So those volcanic tops, or we called adobe stone. Okay? So they protect itself to the invaders, and the Intramuros is a medieval fort. It's like a castle. So in the castle or the medieval, there's a drawbridge. There's a lot of gates, and those gates they call puerta. If it's a big gate, if it's a small gate, they call postillo. So this is the very strategic area. So that's why this area was defined by the Spaniards. All the way down here to going to the other part of the Philippines or in the islands, going to Laguna de Bay. So um, they built this area and they called also Manila is only a city. So the city that they called also as Intramuros. So Intramuros was Manila, Manila was Intramuros. They composed in two Latin words. Intra it means inside and muros it means the walls. Inside the walls or within the walls. So if you go outside of the walls, it will be a province. The province that we called Extramuros because that is in outside of the wall. Okay? So a lot of invaders came in the Philippines, the Spanish, the British, American, and also the Japanese. They used that area as their headquarters. So, speaking of the Spanish headquarters, Jose Rizal was imprisoned here. Have you ever known Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines? So he was imprisoned here alone, isolated, and he didn't accompany to the other prisoners because they can do an influence to them who fights back against to the government of the Spaniards. The Intramuros only Spanish architecture, even if the establishment is new, to preserve also the heritage of the area. And you'll see the original part of the walls if there's a shrapnels, bullet holes. That came out from the wall. And to preserve a lot of gates here, they opened a part of the walls and they called gap. That's during American era. So the gap is for the entryway of the big vehicles here in Intramuros. Tawagan. Baka mabot. Okay, so you will notice that the area was colonized by the Spaniards. They will build a church, they built a plaza, and sometimes it's town halls. The white building in the other side, it was a town hall here in Manila that they used to call the Ayuntamiento. The Ayuntamiento was built in 16th century. And they moved outside of the walls after the war because it was destroyed. Last 2010 to 2013, they restored that establishment and they used as a Bureau of the Treasury. So, church, plaza, town hall, that is the usual pattern in each province or the area was colonized by the Spaniards. So, this plaza, they used to have a bullfight and cockfighting. So, what I mean, there's a gambling happening in the front of the church. So, that is only for the entertainment show to the visitors here on the right side. That is the palace. That was the palace of the Governor General. And their summer. That's why this place called La Zuela. It's a Spanish word. And here in this part, they built that memorial in 1995 to have the commemoration for the 100,000 civilian victims. World War II. And that monument built on that site in 1995, they put some memorabilia and time capsule that they want to open February 18, 2045, after 100 years of war. So Santa Isabel, because here on our right side in 1632, it was a school that they called the Colegio de Santa Isabel. And the office of the highest priest here, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. Mississippi City. And it they didn't destroyed by the Chinese pirates because they noticed that the craftsmen are Chinese. They recognize it to the eye.
Yeah.
It must have took years on years.
Of course.
Build it. This is the exact smell you have when you went to different rooms. It smells like this.
Louder.
They have a computer and projector and the olden days.
Oh, and and many old